The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Well, good Sunday evening, race fans, and welcome to the Dirt Racing Network's live coverage of the Hales Corners Speedway Sim Series. Pro late models tonight from Knoxville. Good look from the chopper overhead. And down here taking a peek at a couple three drivers getting some warm-up laps in. As always on Sunday night when the late models are on the track, I welcome in my good friend Zach Krieger. Zach, you there, buddy?
I am indeed.
Well, round number 6, round 3 for the pro late models. Excuse me, almost said supers. I'm so used to covering super late models that every late model looks the same to me now. No offense to any of these guys, but round 3 here, and we have seen some exciting stuff over the last couple 3 or 4 weeks here with the racing getting a whole lot tighter. See about 24 drivers checked in. Who do you think has the edge tonight?
Honestly, I couldn't say. There's a lot of fast guys here. Just look through the list right now. You've got guys so far seeing Jason Schilling is one that pops out right away in my face. You know, Reed Rundle. Tyler Goodwin has been having some good runs recently, so definitely some big names, especially seeing, as I see it pop in, Jacob Crawford as well. Somebody to keep an eye on, Cole Duggar as well, so there's definitely a lot of fast guys here that have a chance at it tonight.
Yeah, I don't know that we can put a definite favor, but I'm going to say if I'm going to put my money on any driver in the field, he drives that 2 car, and his name is Jacob Crawford. That guy just has been at the front each and every night when he hasn't had problems that were really not of his own doing. He just goes to the front and he just makes it happen. So I think if I was going to pick somebody, I'd probably pick Crawford. I know Duggar is quick in practice, but practice, qualifying, and then getting into race trim are 3 completely different entities.
Definitely. But one thing that I want to point out right away in the point standings wise for the pro lates, Cole Duggar, top of the table, 150. Next behind him is going to be Jacob Crawford with 149, so it's a really tight championship so far. Only 2 rounds in, though.
Yeah, so early in this season for these guys, and they're splitting it up. 1 week coming in the late models, and next week coming back in the street stocks, and so it's a completely different driving style. And I think we're going to see a lot of shakeup in the points, but how about we see those 2 guys atop those late model points all season long, and they'll probably go back and forth as we run through the weeks. About a minute and a half left in the warm-up session. We're just taking a peek at different drivers riding around out here. Oh, Ichkowski. Going to have to fix that one up before they come out for qualifying for sure. But we've got drivers all over the place. Some in the pits, some not. Some trying to get back to the pits. Dean Burnt is in here. We swapped over. We saw a whole different crew of drivers here. This one, Peter Brees is out here. Let's go check on J.J. Schilling real quick. There's the 70 machine. Yeah, a lot of guys with a lot of chances, and a lot of guys have spent a lot of time trying to get ready for this thing, and I think we're going to see a heck of a show. Like I said, 24 drivers checking in for tonight's race, and that's at least, 4 heat races?
I would assume so.
I know it can't be less than 3. I saw 3 already scheduled when I came into the server. So it's got to be 3. I think it could be up to 4. I don't know if they put 10 in a heat or not.
I think it does look like 4 so far, so might change in just a second, but we'll make it interesting.
Outstanding. Well, don't forget, if you're on the Facebook pages, drop by the Dirt Racing Network, like, share, and follow. If you're over on YouTube and Twitch, hit the subscribe button. We are ready to go trackside for our opening ceremonies while these guys get their qualifying session in. When we come back, heat races will be on track.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
And now, please welcome Pastor Sam Foley from Port Orange, Florida, to deliver tonight's invocation.
Father, we ask today that you protect and bless those who participate in this race. May they use good sportsmanship and respect for each other. And we'll thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, once again, a big thank you to the Foleys. Drivers in qualifying already. Cole Duggar showing the way. Jacob Crawford right there behind him. Reed Rundle on his first lap moved himself up to position number 3. John Brunner, fourth quick right now. Second lap for Reed Rundle, just a tick quicker than his first, but still only good enough to hold him in the third spot. It's Duggar, Crawford, Rundle, Brunner, and Bittinger, our top 5 in qualifying. 22 of the 24 cars. I think Skinzalewski is finally going to roll that thing out. He may only have time to take the green flag, but he may not have time to put a timed lap in. So 23 of our 25 drivers, as we gained a new driver during our break there for the opening ceremonies. I just think he's only got about 10 seconds. I don't think he'll make it around.
No, he won't.
Even if they do the 8 to 10 second extension on this, I just don't know that he has enough time to get around. And that 5 car is all over the place anyway. So yeah, we're going to get them spread out, lined up. We're ready for. I can hear myself in the background, Zach.
Oh, my mistake.
Get ourselves ready. We do have 4 heat races on tap. Going to have 7 drivers. Now let's get in here and run it through. Our Central Services starting lineup for heat race number 1 on the pole, the RLV Faster Motors VLR number 23 from Big Bend, Wisconsin of Nick Sobiak. And on the outside of him, the Crawford Flooring 1525 Motorsports number 25 from Riddit, Illinois, Rob Warren. Row 2 inside the KDC Photos, Juddy Designs Team Outlaw Motorsports number 069. He's from Mercerburg, Pennsylvania, Scott Benninger. Won last week and was so shaken that it was hard for him to have an interview. He was just so amped up over the whole thing. Sitting to his outside, starting position number 4, the Ultimate Dirt TV, Brent Bates at Team Outlaw Motorsports, number 11 out of St. Louis, Missouri. That's Cole Duggar. Your third row inside, Jason Enoch will start the 66 car, position number 5, and on his outside, the BAC 218 Platte, AMB Lazy, number 177 from Fergus Falls, Minnesota, Dan Harsted. And a shotgun on the field. That 5 car we saw run out of time in qualifying, the 5 of Colin Skinzalewski. Skinzalewski, an EOL driver, this is only, I think, his second race with the series, and you got to do 3, is it, Cole or Zach, that you got to take EOL for before you can hold your spot?
Usually it is 2. I know he last season was out for a little bit, took a little extended break with the Rio racing season. Of course, he drives a Grand National here in Wisconsin, so he took a little bit of a break, but he is back, and yeah, he's going to be taking the EOLs and just getting himself back in order. But it's going to be a good heat here so far looking. Got a lot of fast guys here who just all are ready to go. Nick Sobiak, Rob Warren, second place in the third place, in the championship right now. So. But I would say keep an eye out on your fast qualifier, Cole Duggar, down in 4th place.
Yeah, he should be able to work his way through the traffic pretty good. We're waiting for that green flag. Sobiak in a rare appearance lately. starting on the pole, and he had about a car and a half advantage when the green flag came out, but the guys are moving. We're underway. Sobiak grabs the lead side by side between Bittinger and Warren for second. Now Warren is going to assert himself and move just a touch ahead. Oh, a little contact looks like. Bittinger got out of shape and got punted from behind by Duggar. That slowed Duggar up. That, I think, is going to let Jason Enoch slide around. It's also going to open the door for Dan Harsted to get in there, that 77 machine. And he's going to try to move Duggar backwards, and Duggar needs a transfer spot to ensure that he's in the feature tonight. It doesn't look like things are going his way right now.
Does not at all. A little bit of rough racing there between him and Harsted. Going to move him and demote him all the way back to 6th place so far, but out in front, Nick Sobiak still starting to run away. We're going to fight here for the 3rd place spot. Jason Enoch, he gets into Scott Bittinger in that 069 car. It's going to put Bittinger back in the 4th place, and that's going to allow Dan Harsted to try to pull up to his inside. Harsted on the berm, not going to happen. And that's going to allow Cole Duggar to make a move towards the inside. Duggar big time on the berm, and this time he gets it to stick. Cole Duggar moved up into 5th place. He's going to be challenging Scott Bittinger here in the car that is sponsored by Cole Duggar. Going to be trying to see what he can get on that bottom. Duggar just seems to be just a little extra bit lower in 1 and 2 than Bittinger is. Duggar, one of the only people right now who's hitting the berm on the inside. It's giving him some great traction and a great run. Here comes Duggar.
Yeah, Duggar working to the inside of his teammates, going to take the spot away. That will move him into a transfer position in the 4th spot right there. It is still Sobiak out in front, and he has not given up an inch. In fact, I think he's gained a couple, 3 or 4 car lengths. He's out to about 7/10 of a second right now. He's led every lap, 12 laps, the distance for these heat races, and we're working lap number 7, so we're halfway home. Still Warren in 2nd, Enoch to 3rd. Duggar got around Bittinger for 4th, so Bittinger now 5th, and Hartstad is 6th. And Skinzalewski way behind. That 5 car just not driving at all to his liking. And he is about half a lap behind these guys. But Sobiak kind of out here 8/10 of a second now, kind of on a Sunday cruise. And when we see him, he's very good. He probably ought to try to show up to each and every one of these races. He might be vying for a championship.
Definitely Nick Sobiak, one of the people that I know loves these late models, and he is just so good in them. He's already got, like you said, it's about a 2nd lead over Warren. It's just starting to creep there. Cole Duggar going to be trying to move on the 66 with Jason Enoch for that 3rd position spot. That'll put him, I think, 11th maybe in the feature. Don't quote me on that, but my math is not up to what it should be. Checkered flag though coming out for
2 to go.
Oh, I forgot. It's 12 laps. Sorry,
12
folks.
laps.
That's my mistake. Exactly, yes. 2 laps to go. This time on the line. 2 to go. Duggar going to be trying to challenge the 25 here of Rob Warren on the bottom. Duggar, after falling back all the way to 6th place and falling back a long distance back to 6th place, he has now got back and right up on top of that wheel, and he is closing in on Rob Warren. They're going to see the white flag at this time by Sobiak, Warren, Duggar, and Enoch. Your top 4 in the transfer positions. Bittinger finds himself at the back. Oh, Duggar gets Warren to check up a little bit, and that's going to allow Cole Duggar to run to the inside. Duggar just on that berm. Does he have it? It's going to be a photo finish at the line. Warren gets it, but only just.
Yeah, very close. 70/100ths of a second. And it makes you wonder what Duggar could have done had he not dropped back the first 3 or 4 laps. He would have had enough time to go run Sobiak down. But Sobiak, Warren, Duggar, and Enoch transfer directly to the A main. Bittinger, Harsted, and Skinzalewski will be in our last chance qualifier. We'll get ready to run through the starting lineup for heat number 2. And our Central Services starting lineup looks like this. On the pole, the Buddies Racing Equipment I-41 Raceway, number 17 from Slinger, Wisconsin, Dean Burnt. And on his outside in the 88 machine, going to be Bo Ambos. Your second row inside, the KDC Juddy Designs Team Outlaw Motorsports, number 19 from Fleetwood, Pennsylvania. That's Sean Judson. And on his outside, in the Milkman Designs 1525 Motorsports, number 2, the man we talked about at the beginning of the show, who we think we could be all right in the mix for our championship, maybe even the win tonight, Jacob Crawford from Dakota, Illinois. Third row inside, the Pincala Auto Solutions, number 41 out of Oak Creek, Wisconsin, of Ryan Fisher. And on the outside of him, and the 117, that's Jim Butcher.
User joined your channel.
So only 6 cars in this one. We had 7 in the first one, 6 in the remaining heats. We're taking 4 out of each, so we will end up with 16, and I think they will pull 4 from the B main.
Indeed they will.
Well, right now we're going to watch that car on the outside of row 2, and we're definitely going to watch the guy in the outside of row number 1, because Ambos has been quick, and he just hasn't had enough luck to pull off a win yet. Now the 41 car back here, Ryan Fisher, also somebody we probably should keep an eye on, but odds-on favorite to win a heat, maybe win the night's going to be coming out of row number 2 right now.
Definitely will make it interesting. Burton Ambo is going to bring them to the line. Green flag out here in heat number 2. Even start for your front 2. Burnt going to be able to drive it in just a little bit deeper. He's going to, Burnt almost kind of faded up into Ambos. Ambos going to move up to the top side and make a big move. Here comes Crawford looking to try to take the lead out of turn 4.
Yeah, it looked like Burnt maybe checked the car down just a little bit for whatever reason. And that opened it up for everybody. You can see single file line coming out of turn number 2 down the backstretch. Ambos, Crawford, Burnt, and Judson. Burnt and Judson really going at each other here. They're side by side. So we get out to a wider angle so we can see it. But Ryan Fisher, the 41 car, trying to get into 50. He'd like to get clear of Butcher so he can start focusing on that car in front of him. That's the spot he needs for a direct transfer. And he needs to go chase down the 17 and get around him. Judson's car blinking pretty heavily. I don't know if you're seeing that on your side, Zach, but that 19 car blinking pretty good as we got a battle for the lead.
Indeed, battle for the lead here. Bo Ambos is going to be trying to make a move here on Jacob Crawford. Crawford run that top line. Ambos running that bottom line. Oh, they get into each other. Ambos washed up and got into Crawford. That's not going to affect them that much, though, as Crawford kept it straight, and so did Ambos. Ambos, though, unfortunately, just kind of moving just a little bit up off corner and got in Jacob Crawford, but Jacob Crawford going to retain that lead.
Yeah, it looked like he bumped that berm there. And when you do, you kind of unweigh. You put all the weight over on the right front. When you do that, the car just stops turning because you've lifted everything up and really just tightened the car all the way out. And when he slid up, they hit doors. No real big effect. It opens it up, lets Crawford have the top side. That's where all the momentum's at, and he's got the lead. Now we're coming to the halfway point. Heat number 2, Crawford, Ambos, Judson, and Burnt. And Burnt has opened up on Fisher to a pretty safe distance. He is about 1.4 seconds ahead of Ryan Fisher. And Fisher, this is kind of weird for me to see the 41 car not able to hang on to the top 3 in front of him, top 4 anyway. And he may have to come through the B main at the end of this thing.
Like you said, Ryan Fisher, not one we usually see a little bit further back, so he will probably have to go through the B main if it starts to go, if it keeps going the way that it is. 3 cars, though, real all close to each other, all some sort of black and green variation. They're pushing each other to the limit. Ambos on the bottom trying to get the move done to get past Crawford. Unsure what Ambos will do at the line. There's going to be 3 laps to go, and Jacob Crawford seems to pretty much be dominating this heat race as of yet.
Yeah, Sean Judson's starting to close in as Ambos keeps having trouble with the berm, especially down in 3 and 4. Started to let Crawford get away. It's let Judson close in quite a bit. I don't know if any of these guys know, but you're just not supposed to put green on a race car. I don't know where they're hanging out. Maybe it's different in Wisconsin. I'm not sure. But green's always bad luck for a race car. That's why you don't see very many green cars anywhere. This looks like a Sunday drive again for these top 3. They are content to just sit in line, ride around. Dean Burnt's got himself a pretty good spot. We're coming down to the white flag. Heat 2 is almost in the books.
Indeed, everybody getting it going well. And coming back to your statement, I have not seen many green race cars in my experience here in Wisconsin, so unsure what that is all about. This checkered flag going to be coming out, and the green seems to be working for Jacob Crawford as he takes the win in heat number 2.
Ambos was second, Judson third, Dean Burnt in fourth. We'll see Fisher and Butcher in the B main. So we got 2 in the books. We got 2 to go for heat racing action. Get down here and look at the Central Services starting lineup for heat number 3. On the pole, the Burnside Motorsports number 55 out of Franklin, Wisconsin of Tyler Burnside. And on his outside in the Shark RC car bodies, number 112 from Menominee Falls, Wisconsin, Chris Johnson. Row 2 inside, the Skis Graphics, Brandon Hull, Performance Motorsports Racing Incorporated, number 99 from Mayville, Wisconsin of Brandon Hull. And on the outside of him, the Central Services Muellers. Number 43 from Oxford, Michigan of Reed Rundle. Third row inside, the Brunner Brothers, Pride of Tosa, number 64 from Wauwatosa, Wisconsin of Randy Brunner. And on his outside, the Black Flag Racing, number 10 out of West Allis, Wisconsin, Tony Itzkowski.
Going to be a interesting heat here. Reed Rundle throwing it out to chat. Brandon Hull with a new paint scheme, nice black and white and orange. Seems to be sort of a regular thing in these heats. 3 cars last heat were all some sort of black and green. Now we see a lot of white and orange in this heat, which is going to make it kind of interesting to call it from up here. Going to get ready to go racing here in heat number 4. 6 cars. Like you said, 4 are going to move on. 2 are going to have to make their attempt through the beam 8.
Yeah,
It's definitely going to be interesting here.
I think Hull had changed his car at the beginning of the season, had not a lot of great luck in it, and maybe he just thought it was the paint on the car, so he is going to switch it over and do something a little bit different. I still do not know how an electric car makes that much noise when it comes off the track. That Mustang is very loud in my headset.
Green flag out here in heat number 3. Good start by the 55 of Tyler Burnside. He's going to pull right in front of Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson going to swing right underneath him, though. Front row changing sides. They're almost 3-0. Hull getting onto the bergs a little too aggressively. That's going to push him back. Rundle now making a move up into 3rd place. Top 2 still side by side. Johnson and Burnside fight big time here. Ichkowski getting a little slideways back in the pack. He keeps it straight and falls back a few seconds. We still got a lead fight here. Chris Johnson and Tyler Burnside making some moves. Ooh, Johnson getting really close to Rundle's front bumper. Rundle gives him a little love tap in 1 and 2. Tell him, hey buddy, I'm here. Reed Rundle moving out to the outside. Ooh, Johnson came up and gets into Reed Rundle. That's going to push Rundle back into 64. Randy Brunner going to be trying to make a move here for the 4th spot. Brandon Hall capitalizing, trying to make a move for the 2nd spot. He gets 3rd, gets clipped by Chris Johnson again. Reed Rundle now on the bottom 3 wide in turn 2. Fighting here for the final transfer spot.
Yeah, that got a little full contact and a lot hairy for a couple of drivers. Hull and Rundle trying to work their way by, and Rundle works it on the bottom. He takes over 2nd. Hull back to 3rd, side by side between Brunner and Johnson for 4th. And Johnson now pinned up on the outside, but he's got momentum. Just Brunner, I think, is going to have better runs up off the corner in that tacky dirt down there. And he's going to be able to pull forward inch by inch. And maybe clear Johnson this time. Don't know if he's going to stay married to Devon. Looks like he will. We're going to have a battle for the lead now as Rundle is going to work the inside. He's going to go after Burnside. So Rundle got clear of Johnson, kept himself pinned down on the bottom, and that is seeming to work for the 43 machine as he's going to have the lead at the halfway point in heat number 3.
Rundle on the inside, getting past Burnside. Really good rhyme there. Reed Rundle keeping the lead in top 5. Really all really close to each other. Can put a blanket on them almost, it looks like. Brunner going to be trying to make a move here on Burnside as Hall had snuck past Burnside as well. Going to be an interesting battle here as Tyler getting challenged here by Randy on the bottom side. Randy looks to have the better momentum out of corner exit. He's going to run it all the way in the bottom. Burnside having to go all the way up to the top side to get any sort of grip. He's going to be able to push and keep himself right in between the wall and that 64 car. Just a few laps remaining here. And Brandon Hall might also be closing here on Reed Rundle just little by little.
Yeah, those who have broken away from that battle for 3rd, and we've been focusing on those drivers back there. Randy Brunner, Tyler Burnside, and Chris Johnson. The lap's starting to tick off, and it looks like Burnside kind of trapped up on the top, and everybody noticing the bottom is going pretty well As Johnson now is going to challenge to take the final direct transfer spot away. He's going to keep the 112 pin on the bottom, got up on the berm. Looks like Burnside's going to have the momentum as Johnson got the right rear off in the slick. Wasn't able to find forward bite. I don't know if that'll seal his fate, but it is a lot harder to catch up. When you're side by side with someone, everyone's tiptoeing, and it makes it a whole lot easier to keep the car beside somebody. He had a big slip there. And now it looks like Rundle's starting to get away again from Hull as we've taken the white flag. 1 lap remaining. Rundle, Hull, Brunner, and Burnside, your top 4. Now Burnside makes a mistake, and Chris Johnson right back to the inside. They hit into 3 and 4. If Johnson can make it stick, he may get a transfer spot, and that'd be good for the 112. He's having a hard time getting the features. Looks like that's what's going to happen. Rundle wins it, Hull second, Brunner in third, and Chris Johnson takes our final transfer spot. So Burnside and Ichkowski will have to come out of that B main in a little bit.
Good fight there, and I think we'll move on to heat number 4 in the lineup here in just a second.
Yep. Our Central Services starting lineup for heat race number 4. On the pole, the B-Hull Performance number 32 from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin of Skylar Woods. And on his outside, the discountshoptails.com Black Flag Racing number 74 out of Waterford, Wisconsin, Peter Reese. Your second row inside, another Milkman Designs 1525 Motorsports entry from McChesney Park, Illinois. That's Tyler Goodwin in the 7 car, and on the outside of him, another Brunner Brothers Racing entry from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this time the 46 of John Brunner. And our back row on the inside, and he will probably stay there because you can't go any more EOL than the back row, the 40 car new driver Dan Tofelsky, and on his outside in the B-Hull Performance number 70 from Greendale, Wisconsin, old pocket full of change, J.J. Schilling.
Schilling had gotten into the wall on both of his qualifying attempts, so that is why he is starting at the back. But some fast guys here in this heat. It's going to be interesting to see who can move. I will say, look, keep an eye on that 70 car of J.J. Schilling. He loves these late models, and I reckon he could be one to watch out for making some moves.
Well, he couldn't have made it any more difficult on himself with the qualifying effort. So, starting way at the back, and, Brace has been quick. Woods is always quick. You got to deal with Goodwin in there. John Brunner has gotten better and better as time has gone on. So this is not going to be a cakewalk to get that 70 car into a transfer spot. He's going to have to hope for a mistake or a little good luck or a little bad luck on somebody else's part if he's going to bring that car straight to the feature and not have to deal with the drivers in the B main.
Definitely, as this car makes his way off of pit road. Green flag out here. Woods a good start. He's going to try and pull in front of the 74 car. Peter Brees doesn't look like he's able to do it just yet, and Brees going to power by on that top side. He pulls right past Woods. Woods going to try to come back at him on the bottom. Doesn't look like it's able to. Further back, we got Brunner and Schilling battling, and Schilling already making that move up into the transfer spots. He moves up into 4th. Yep, contact between Goodwin and Woods. That's going to move Skylar Woods further up, and that maybe could have checked Jason Schilling as both Schilling and Brunner get into the wall on the back straightaway there.
A little follow the leader wall banging going on the back stretch there as Brunner took it up the hill, found it with the right side, and Schilling just following right in the tire tracks went ahead and put his car into the outside wall as well. Right now, Brees able to hang on. He is running right through the middle of the track, keeping that 74 car right on the angle. But Tyler Goodwin is going through the slick, so that 7 machine looks like maybe he's got something figured out closer to the bottom. And when you come off the bottom of turn number 2, there is a lot of grip down there. I think that's what Goodwin is trying to utilize as he's closing in quickly on that 74. Now got a nose on the inside, gets a little bit of left rear sheet metal off the 74 at corner exit. That slows him down, allows Woods to power by on the top side of 1 and 2. So it's Brees, Woods, Goodwin, and Schilling now in a transfer spot, and he's closing in on a battle to maybe challenge for a top 2 here pretty quick.
Definitely going to make it interesting after that contact. I can see Tyler Goodwin. I have a really good aerial view here of his wheel just spinning left and right, trying to get any sort of grip back in that car and keep it straight. Did a really good job to do it, and he's going to be trying to challenge Skylar Woods here. Peter Brees accidentally getting high. That's going to force Brees to have to become under pressure here from Skylar Woods and Tyler Goodwin. Brees seems to be losing some pace here. Don't look now, but the 70 car, that red and black car, Jason Schilling, he's looking to potentially move up a little bit further, ripping that top side, trying to get onto the back of his buddy Skylar Woods. They are pretty close together. We've got some laps remaining here, and race is starting to pick up.
Yeah, 5 to go that time. Your top 4 are really kind of in the proverbial bucket right there, all right on top of one another, and John Brunner really, really close as well. Tefelsky, the only car off the pace. We're focused on the battle second, third, and fourth as Brees has been able to run his own race, keep his own line, keep the 74 car out front. But Goodwin staying married to the bottom, and he is holding off the challenge from the 70 of J.J. Schilling right now. Schilling kind of boxed in behind Woods. Those two run the exact same line, basically. Now they're going to come 3 wide out of turn 4. Didn't quite work out as there was contact between the right rear and the left front. Goodwin and Schilling. They'll be at 2 to go this time, and this race is really starting to pick up inside transfer spots. And all these 4 guys need to do is keep the car where it's at, not wreck it or each other, and they're in the big show without having to worry about a last chance qualifier.
Definitely going to make it some good racing here with 2 to go. Brees still out in front, and Goodwin still trying to work on Skylar Woods to see what can he get done on the 32 car. Definitely going to be a interesting battle, to say the least, as there's still a fight tooth and nail. White flag is out here at Knoxville. Goodwin moving to that down low line, trying to see what he can get from Woods. Jason Schilling, as well as making some moves on that top side, trying to see what he can get. Goodwin going to throw a big lunge, trying to get to the inside of Skylar Woods. Does not happen, and he almost lost out to Jason Schilling there. Schilling going to finish in 4. That was a tense battle there for the 4th heat win.
Brees, Woods, Goodwin, and Schilling transfer directly to the feature. We're going to get ready for our B main. We'll drop down here, run through the Central Services starting lineup. 4 cars will transfer from this field into tonight's 30-lap feature. They'll line up like this: Scott Benninger and Ryan Fisher, row number 1. Tyler Burnside and John Brunner in row 2. Dan Harsted and Jim Butcher, the 3rd row. Tony Ichkowski and Dan Tefelsky in the 4th row. And shotgun on the field, the 5 car of Colin Skinzalewski. Right now, looking like Tefelsky had a little trouble getting that thing in gear and rolling it away.
Definitely looked that way. I think before they had jumped out, Reed Rundle had said on the driver's chat that no EOLs will be enforced in the main set. It's kind of unfair for EOLs to be put on someone who is racing for their spot in. Couldn't agree more on that, but definitely going to make it interesting here. So let's go off on the pace car. Scott Bidinger and
9 cars, 15 laps, right?
What's up?
9 cars, 15 laps, looking for 4?
I am pretty sure. Yep, 9 cars here in the B main, 15 laps. Top 4 move in. So as it would stand, Bidinger, Fisher, Burnside, and Brunner would be moving on, but that stands in 15 laps to decide that.
We'll see what that looks like in about 15 circuits of the track. Here's ready to go. Green B main time. Green flag in the air, way late on the start there. And that's going to keep everybody side by side. That could make things pretty interesting when we're coming out of turn 2 as everybody's looking for that piece of real estate. You saw 77 car check up on the exit. He's going to give up a spot to Brunner. So going into 3 and 4, Bidinger, Fisher, Burnside, and Brunner are your top 4, just like they started. But I think Harsted is going to have something to say coming off this bottom as they've been out, reworked the track, that slick line through the middle, all but gone. We'll see how long it takes for that to come back as there's a lot of contact. Final transfer spot really being heavily contested. We're way early in this thing. We're about to complete lap number 2, and we've already seen paint trading hands.
definitely getting intense right now. The final few spots here in the feature up for grabs. That transfer spot is very good looking to a lot of these guys. Runner perhaps going to fall to Dan Harstad, but a lot of other guys who could take it away. That's really the closest cars on track to each other is for the transfer spot, so they were going to keep an eye on that. Right now, 5 laps in already, and Binger doing well to stay out in front.
Yeah, probably after he popped the bubble last week in the street stocks, a whole lot more comfortable now. And we talked briefly in his interview about, what does that say for him going forward? And he was hoping that, he'd have a good night, good runs here in the late model this week, and didn't make it into the feature, missed it by a spot, but right now looking pretty solid out here. Start pretty deep, start about 17th when they come out from the feature, but just being in the show gives you a chance to win, and I think the 69 machine probably has as good a chance as anybody. Just going to have to do a lot of work to get there, hope for a little bit of bad luck on somebody else's part. Right now, Bittinger, Fisher, Burnside, and Brunner still holding on to those top 4 spots, and it is a pretty healthy gap between Brunner and Harston. It started off a lot closer than that, but after the contact, looks like the 77 car just not up to par. Maybe lost a little bit of speed somehow. I don't see any damage, but anything's possible. We're working lap 8 of 15, so just past the halfway point. It is all 069 out in front.
Everybody trying their best to get it going. Big fight coming here. Back between Scott Bittinger and Ryan Fisher. Fisher seemed to have found something going, and he is trying to catch up to the back of that 069. Just quickly giving a glance back to the transfer spot. John Burner still holds it. He's gained a little gap from Dan Harstad, so we're going to keep an eye here on the front too, as this battle might start spicing up here with 5 to go out the line.
Yeah, coming down to it, 5 to go. Bittinger starting to get away again. Burnside hanging on in 3rd. Everybody about equal spacing from 1st to 5th. And Dan Harstad really needs to get going if he is going to get in here and make a challenge to transfer into the feature. He is not going any faster than the car in front of him. He's running almost the exact same lap times. They were less than a 10th apart the last lap. They are right about, that time he lost quite a bit. He was about almost 3/10 slower that time. So the 77 is starting to struggle a little bit. But not the 069. Scott Bittinger going to see 3 to go this time. He is all but in control of this thing as Burnside started to close in on Fisher. We may see a battle inside the top 4, only for the starting spots, but those guys already in. They just need to calm down, hang on, and make it to the checkers in this thing, and they're in the feature.
Definitely with 2 laps to go here, the battle here for the final spot, or for the 3rd place spot, might spice up between here, Burnside here, and Brunner. Gonna make it interesting. White flag at the line.
I don't know that it's you, Zach. I think it might be me. And I just redid my mic to see if it would fix that. I may have to do some sound settings or something here. Windows Update kind of messed up some things, and sound is one of them. I don't hear it, so I don't know. Only the fans. No one said anything last night, so maybe it's just something that happened today. Checkered flag in the air, B main coming to an end. It is Bittinger, Fisher, Burnside, and Brunner going to the A main. Harstad, Butcher, Ichkowski, Skinzalewski, and Tafelski. Thanks for coming, boys. No parting gifts. Come back and try again the street stocks in next week for us. Well, the field is set. I think these guys will take a couple minutes of this warm-up for sure. And they will then be ready to move on. But they need to work the track down just a little bit. And I think we don't have enough time to go run a commercial. So basically, we will watch these guys. I don't know. I hear Zach just fine. I don't know why he's not sounding good to you guys. He sounds fine to me.
I can say I do sound really wonky on the broadcast. I will say that. So I think probably gonna call it there for the feature. I know it's not ideal. So I'll let Roger do most of the talking there for the feature.
Well, let's see if that changes anything. Let's. If that doesn't fix it, then we'll try a different setting. I tried a couple different settings. It could be that it's an echo for you.
All right, we'll try it here. Just quickly run through the chat here. I'm seeing a few names that are big. Tim Nichols, and a shout out there. See some of the runners, Jason Schilling, Peter Brees in there. Can see, heck, I can even see my mom and my grandpa in the chat, which is super cool. So shout out to them there. So going to be moving on to the feature here in just a second. Let's see if that setting has worked.
All right, Steve Nicholas says it sounds a lot better.
It has indeed. Woo!
So we will leave that change in place. It was one of the sound settings on my side. I just had to make an adjustment to it. But let's get down here and get into our.
Thank everybody for
starting
dealing
lineup.
with that for the first few times. Like I said, never heard that happen before, so I'm gonna try to figure that out so it doesn't happen even more.
All right, 30 laps on the board. Amen.
About to the feature lineup
roll
here in just a
out.
second.
Oh, I guess I must have done something to my own, but on the pole, going to be the KDC Jetty Designs, number 19 of Sean Judson, and on his outside, we talked about him at the outset of this thing. He leads in the points. The UDTV Brent Spates, number 11 of Cole Duggar. Your second row be Skylar Woods and Brandon Hull. Row number 3. Going to be Bo Ambos and Rob Moore in the 4th row. Peter Brees and Reed Rundle. Jacob Crawford and Nick Sobiak in row 5. So, second in the points, starting inside row number 5, way back there. That means that Cole Duggar's got a pretty good cushion, but he is going to have to hang on to it because I am sure Crawford's going to be coming. 6th row, Randy Brunner and Tyler Goodwin. Jason Enoch and Dean Burnt starting in row number 7. Chris Johnson and J.J. Schilling, row number 8, inside and out. Your 9th row, inside, Scott Bittinger from the B main. Ryan Fisher came along with him. And they also brought Tyler Burnside and John Brunner in from that B main. So 20 cars, 30 laps.
Definitely going to make it interesting here. And before we get the race in action underway, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us on this Sunday night. Deciding to watch the league, us here at the Dirt Racing Network and the Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing League. Thank you, and going to give you 30 of the best laps here at Knoxville in the Pro Late Models. Pace car going to make his way off of the track, and with that, it's only right that the one time can happen, because here at Knoxville it's showtime. Green flag underway here in the feature. Even start between Judson and Duggar. They're going to pull Duggar, going to pull right behind Judson. He's going to be challenged by the 32 of Skylar Woods. Woods able to have him to back off, drops a little bit back. Judson still leads Duggar, holding right behind him, and a big crash in the back.
We were right on Peter Brees, and that car just tumbling to the infield. Now we will go back and watch. There was a little contact in front of Brees. Oh, that was Rob Warren that got turned sideways and really kind of started making guys check up, and the guys behind could not see. Just started running through each other. And it looked like Warren got across the nose of Reed Rundle. Jacob Crawford in this. So, Brees, Rundle, and Crawford all in the infield along with Randy Brunner. I don't think Judson is... No, he's not in there. He's out in front. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Judson had the lead. Why I would show him in the pits, I'm not exactly sure. But wow. So some of the heavy hitters already in the pits, and we didn't even complete a full lap.
Quickly, I want to say quickly, if we can get a good shot from Scott Bittinger's car. He had a great view of that incident, and he even avoided some of it. So he had a great avoidance, and Bittinger now finding himself, I would say, in around 14th, 15th spot after that incident. So gonna make it interesting. And at the line, I think the lights are gonna go off on the pace car. Yep.
So we'll watch from Bittinger. We'll get the drone out here. It was following back here with him. Oh, a little contact with he and Schilling. And then this thing right in front of you. Saw it right up there in the front. And he's able to get his car slowed down, drive through all of the carnage. Cars flipping. Enoch was rolling over there. Some
good avoidance there from Bittinger, going back green, though. this time. The 19 of Sean Judson and the 11 of Cole Duggar going to be back at it. Duggar another chance to try and take the lead. Green flag goes back out. Good start from Judson, but also a good start from Duggar. He's going to be able to pull it down and protect that second place spot from the 32 car of Skylar Woods. You're right. Big fight going to probably come here in just a few seconds. You can see just further back, everybody's starting to keep it good.
Yeah, they're getting single file pretty quick here. Sobiak really kind of drove it in deep in 3 and 4, then checked it down. He got in front of Brandon Hull. Bo Ambos letting J.J. Schilling have the inside there, so that'll move Schilling to 6th. Ambos is 7th. Tyler Goodwin is 8th. Chris Johnson 9th, and Ryan Fisher. It looks like things are going to settle out. That lap 1 crash maybe got several people's attention, and everybody going to try to give just a little bit more room, be a little more patient here, see if we can throw some laps in the book before we start getting crazy. Side by side from, I'm going to go about 10th on back. There's contact. Ambos getting turned around by Chris Johnson. They're going to hold on to him. I don't think anybody's going anywhere with that deal. Everybody good to go. A little bit of a move there from Fisher to Goodwin. All right, now it is Judson out in front. He and Duggar have broken away from third place Nick Sobiak as we're 5 in.
Definitely all of these guys get good runs. Trying to look on the side for the man Jacob Crawford. Oh, Crawford is in the pit lane. Unfortunately for him, that's going to end his night. Pretty early, I think, was caught up in that first lap incident. Still, though, at the front, Judson having a good commanding lead at this race, but Cole Duggar right behind him is ready to pounce on whatever may happen. Track still has a lot of changing to do, so there's this line that everybody is running is not going to work in a few laps time. Now, depending on how short or long those few laps might be, it's a whole different story. As Duggar moving up to the top shelf, he seemed to have gotten a good run there. Started to gain just a little bit from Judson, and he's able to drive it in just a little bit deeper than Judson. Cole Duggar right on the back of Sean Judson here, and this is going to get interesting because Sean Judson has not had a challenge yet, so it's going to be interesting to see what he is going to be able to do defense-wise. Duggar diamonding off the corner. He's going to pull so fast up that he's going to pull right alongside Judson. Right, Duggar slapping the cushion into the berm, and a caution comes out.
Yeah, we're going to go back here. We're going to look at the 25 and the 112. I don't know if these two were the two. There's the 88 and the 112 again. There's contact again. He goes down, gets burnt, comes around, gets spun there. There you see Rob Warren coming in late, just trying to stay out of everybody. He's already got enough damage. So a little bit of contact. Hopefully the 112, the 88 can sort that out. And we won't see any more of that, but that was what our current caution was for. Rob Warren's car already back down pit road, maybe trying to get a few things fixed on that thing. Take a peek at our top 10. Judson, Duggar, Sobiak, Schilling, Hull, Woods, Fisher, Bittinger, Goodwin, and Burnside in that order. About a third of the way through this thing, and we're already working caution number 2.
Like you said, some great fighting going on, and this time Cole Duggar had gotten just still a little bit closer to Judson than he had at the first attempt. Granted, the first attempt was only half a lap, but this is definitely going to make it interesting for Duggar to see maybe what he can get out of his car. I think Duggar was, before that caution came out, experimenting with lines, trying to see what he could get done, and Duggar had found something, had pulled alongside Judson, but unfortunately couldn't get it before the line. So Duggar going to be kicking himself in a sense to try and get further back up. Let's go off on the pace car this time by. We're going to be going 1 to green flag at the next lap. Going to make it interesting once again, though. Judson and Duggar, your top 2. Sobiak, Schilling, and Brandon Hull find themselves in the top 5 with Skylar Woods and Ryan Fisher in 6th and 7th respectively. Rest of the top 10 is going to be filled out with Scott Bittinger and Tyler Goodwin. Definitely going to make for an interesting restart. Field and control of Sean Judson. He gets a good restart. Green flag back underway here at Knoxville.
Yeah, goes straight to the top, and I don't know if it was because of a good start or if Duggar just allowed him to go there, but Schilling going to pull 3rd away from Sobiak off that top line. We're seeing guys start to move all over the track. It's starting to look like it did right before heat races ended, and we have caution again. Is it Burnside? No, it's not. I don't know who got sideways. I didn't see it quick enough.
Neither did I. I'm gonna be looking here. Gonna listen in on the racers chat to see who potentially says something.
Let's go back here and let's take a look at Chris Johnson again. I think he is in this, and I'll tell you what, I see the 88 car back there again.
Indeed we do.
88 got into the 66, and then they collected Chris Johnson. So I just see a whole lot of 88 and 112 close together, and those two had contact earlier in this thing, and so opposites seem to attract, and these guys have polar opposite magnets in those two cars tonight.
Unfortunate for them, to say the least. Ambos getting moved to the back of the field. Judson, though, so far I'd say he's happy right now, keeping this lead and getting these cautions here and there, because, like we have been saying, Cole Duggar has been leading quick so far in these cars and even in this race. The track's still evolving enough that this race is still anybody's if you find the right line early enough. Going to be interesting to see who the first one to experiment with different lines is going to be as we're going green this time by.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for the guys to get any experimentation and figure out which line's going to be best for them, because if you keep restarting, you're going to keep these cars too wide for too long, and nobody's going to be able to figure out if they're going to run the bottom here, the top there, top at both ends, bottom at both ends. So hopefully they'll sort it out, they'll settle down, and we'll get some green flag racing in. We're back underway. 20 laps remaining, a long time left in this one, and once again Judson goes right from the get straight to the top, and Duggar's going to have to try to cross underneath, and he may have the advantage down here in 3 and 4 as he gets the left front up on the berm, helps the car rotate a little bit. That was a big advantage. New leader, lap number 11, Cole Duggar asserted himself, took the lead, no doubt, and now he is out in front. Sobiak is trying to take second away. They got Schilling pinned up in 4th back there, and he's stuck on the high side, but things starting to change at the front with Duggar already out in the lead.
Lap 11 for car number 11. Duggar had rocketed past Judson there. Ooh, a little contact
Teammates.
there behind. Between the teammates, Brandon Hall and Jason Schilling. Schilling getting in the Skylar Woods. Woods gets a hard impact on the wall. Wood did well to keep it straight. Knowing these guys, Skylar Woods, Brandon Hall, and Jason Schilling, they're all really good friends outside of this and even in racing all together. So these guys, knowing they can lean on each other and potentially not happy with each other, fight for the lead right now going to be going on, though. Duggar and Judson. Duggar just gets a better run on it through the corner, but Judson gets a better run off the corner, and that allows him to pull right behind the 11 car. Going to have a fight here, though. I would in just a second coming for the lead as Judson right on the backside of Cole Duggar, and don't look now, but Nick Sobiak in that 23 car is pushing big time, trying to see what he can get, trying to find any line that can let him catch up to the front two.
Well, now Duggar changing the line a little bit, using the cut down, going in high to keep the momentum line behind him in 1 and 2, goes straight to the bottom in 3 and 4. He's really got that car hooking around that berm in 3 and 4. He opens up a couple of car lengths every time he goes through there. Sobiak has settled in. They've got a pretty good gap on Schilling, but Schilling going to run that car as hard as he can. He'll keep that thing spread out to the top. See if he can't run momentum in it and catch up to the leaders. He's got about 13 laps left to do it as we've completed 17 of the 30. Duggar, Judson, Sobiak, Schilling, and Brandon Hull, your top 5. But here's Ryan Fisher and Scott Bendinger, 6 and 7. So this thing far from over, as a lot of fast drivers starting to work their way to the front.
Definitely, like you said, a lot of fast guys making their way towards the front. Judson falling back a little bit. I think the gap now might be closer to Sobiak than it is to Duggar. It definitely is. Schilling finding himself in 4th place, trying to get back to the front pack. Just giving a quick glance at lap times here. Schilling just a little bit slower than the front pack. Duggar, one of the only drivers still in the 18-second bracket. And when I was looking through, everybody else was in the 19s. So Cole Duggar setting about a 10th a lap faster than the rest of these guys. Going to start to pull away, I would assume, here.
10 to go.
So we've got 10 laps to go.
Yeah, lap times, everybody over 19 seconds that time. 14, an 8, an 11, a 10, and a 24 for your top 4. So everybody kind of starting to find out the track is giving up just a little bit. Going to have to find a new line if you're going to run down these top 3. Sobiek, the only one looks like he's closing in on anybody as he starts to reel in the 19 car of Sean Judson. Every time they get to turns 1 and 2, all that work goes away, and now everybody's going to be tightened up as we have got somebody backwards. Is it Brunner? No, it is not. I don't know who was backwards. They must have just got sideways enough to trigger a caution because there are no cars sitting still on this racetrack right now.
John Brunner did say that he was avoiding. And another thing. Okay. Nobody's going to take that. Everybody agreeing it was kind of a racing incident, so everybody should, as far as I know, keep their spot.
Yeah, it's going to bunch everybody back up. We're going to go 2 wide on this restart. Everybody's going to be right on top of each other, and that's going to make it interesting, especially in this top 4, because advantages have been gained on restarts the last 2 consecutive restarts.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting to see what will happen, what Judson's willing to do, and what the other guys are willing to do to get up to that front spot to get Cole Duggar here. But definitely going to be interesting, especially with single file now. There's no real advantage with single files, I've found at least. I don't know how other people feel about single file restarts, but lights go off on the pace car here. We got 1 lap to green.
Yeah, we're not inside 5, and we're going to single file. That'll not shake things up as much as I thought they would, but that might be a little bit of a blessing for Cole Duggar. Especially going to be a blessing for these guys in the top 3. They got to stay single file here on the restart. That gives them a chance to get up to speed. Nobody's challenging them right away, moving them off their line. So that may make things, less interesting, but depends on who gets the best start. Somebody spins the tires. You're giving up spots no matter what.
Definitely pace car makes his way off the road. Cole Duggar goes super early. Green flag back underway. Potentially a little bit of a jump start there from Cole Duggar. That's going to be interesting to see. He lifts down the back straightaway. I think he's trying to give some time back, perhaps. They're trying to work it out. But Judson going to be trying to get back to that 19. He was trying to get back to that 11 car. Schilling right on the back side of Sobiek as well.
That was close.
One from Fisher. Contact between him and the 23 car. Ooh, Schilling gets into the 23 car. Big fight here for the last podium spot between Schilling, Sobiek, and Fisher.
Now Hall and Bittinger in there as well, as Bittinger muscled his way past Brandon Hall. Bittinger up to 6th. Laps running out quick, going to be 5 to go this time. Duggar just about 3 car lengths out in front, and he's been steadily trying to give a little bit of time back and let Judson get closer. I thought that the restarts were always on the leader once a pace car was gone, but I'm not in the racer's chat, so I do not know for sure. But I thought Duggar got a great start. Judson didn't quite get as good a one, and everybody behind him was kind of checked up waiting for him. Looks like we're going to have a battle for 3rd here. Schilling finally starting to come alive. He's going to put some pressure on Sobiek. We're down to 4 laps to go.
Schilling trying to get that last podium spot away from the 23 car. Ryan Fisher and Jason Schilling, really good friends. I can know that for a fact. I've seen them together a lot in the past. So these two are going to be fighting each other tooth and nail. 3 laps to go. Schilling running that middle line. Sobiek kind of just, Nick Sobiek pushing, just bumping off of that cushion. My apologies for calling him Ryan Fisher as the caution comes out. Bittinger, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw that 69 car disappear off my screen. Oh, he got under Fisher, got it turned around. Oh, then he comes across the nose of John Brunner. That caused a big pile up there. Rob Warren has had nothing but trashy luck all night long, and he gets involved in yet another incident. So we'll have another restart. 2-lap shootout this time.
Definitely going to be a 2-lap shootout here. Green-white checkered, so we hope, and definitely going to make it interesting. Duggar and Judson going to be fighting time here. What do either of them do to get this win? Or with Nick Sobiak and Jason Schilling, are they in the picture to get the win as well? So we're going to have a few laps to go before we go back green.
Yeah, it'll be Duggar, Judson, Sobiak, Schilling, Fisher, Holt, Woods, Goodwin, Burnt, and Ambos, the top 10 when we go back to green, which should be the next time out of turn number 4. But nobody got an advantage on the last restart. The single file deal kind of worked out. It was building right there between Sobiak and Schilling. Schilling was starting to pull to the inside when that caution came out. So, that took about 3 or 4 laps to get going. He didn't have that much time. Maybe somebody gets a little impatient, something drastic, but I seriously doubt it with this group, as they are down to seeing the finish. They just want to get there now.
Definitely going to make this race interesting. Duggar back in the pack up quite a lot here, letting the pace car get a good running start. Sobiak, the first car to pick that top line. Schilling was undecided. He moves up to the top side. So Duggar and Judson, your 2 on the bottom. Green flag comes back underway, and a great restart there from Nick Sobiak. Ooh, it's going to get close between Sobiak and Judson. They were side by side at the line. Potentially going to be interesting to see if Sobiak gets a little bit in trouble for that, as Sobiak smacks the wall. Big lunge coming here from Jason Schilling. He's going to slide it all the way up, a slow slider, but he gets that third spot. Oh, contact between him and Sobiak, and they go around with Fisher. That car's backwards.
White flag was already out. There will be no caution. Whatever is happening here is what is happening.
Big pile up.
I am sure that there's going to be somebody having to answer for what just happened right there. But the checkers are going to go to Cole Duggar, then Judson and J.J. Schilling. Now let's go back here. And let's go all the way back after the restart. And we're going to get right on the 70 and the 23 car, as we want to see what happens here with Sobiak. Into Fisher. And then that is just a parking lot in 1 and 2 as Burnt gets out of shape and everybody else just kind of piling in. So we'll get down here. We'll get everybody set up. We'll get ready to talk to these guys. As soon as we can get them into our waiting room. There is Judson. Let's get J.J. Schilling up here. J.J. Schilling, you got a copy. J.J., you there? Hello, J.J.
I got it. Hold on.
Okay. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, okay. Reva's talking in the chat.
Oh, gotcha. Well, a podium finish. You had to battle hard there at the end to get it, man. Tell us about your feature run tonight.
Yeah, that first lap mayhem basically summed it all up. I got lucky, followed Nick through that whole ordeal, and I slide job Nick. It was racing deal at the end. He lifted up my tires. He tried to let off. And that ending happened. I feel bad for Nick and Ryan, but I don't know what to say about it other than that. I tried to do a clean slide job after that.
Well, it looked like guys were trying to, really find a rhythm, and we kept getting cautions right when things started to get interesting for people. Where was the best place to start looking for grip, and how long did it take you to figure out where the best place to run?
Well, Zach should know too. At Knoxville, when the bottom goes away, tracks about midway through, you got to run the top. we're running. I know Cole and them were throwing good sliders and running the dark brown cushion, and I try to do that with Nick. Me and Nick were keeping up with them for sure.
Well, an awesome run. You're on the podium. I'm sure you got some shout-outs before we let you head out.
Yeah, NA Auto Trim, Roscoff RV, Rich's Auto, LeMay Motorsports, and Central Services for sponsoring us. Same with Scrub-A-Dub. And, yeah, that's about it.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again, and we look forward to seeing you back in the street stocks next week, bud.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
User was moved out of
All right. Your third place driver, that was JJ Schilling. Now let's move on and talk to Sean Judson.
User was moved to your channel.
We will indeed. Second place driver tonight, Sean Judge, and you got a copy.
I got you.
Well, it was definitely a good battle between you and the 11 car Cole Duggar. Tell us about that feature.
Starting up front really helps here, especially early where it's one line. Tried to keep Cole behind me because I knew as soon as he got next to me, it was going to be pretty rough keeping him behind. He's really fast week in and week out.
Well, you definitely did a good job of those starting laps. Were you kind of hoping for more caution so you maybe could get just a few more runs going and maybe keep that lead as the laps dwindled down? Or were you more just hoping for a long green flag one where you guys could really just race it out and see what you guys could get?
I've always hoped for green flags, but especially here, 'cause, when you're up front, you really want it to just stay green. We were starting to gap everybody behind us. So we probably could have had a little bit more racing side by side if we would have had bigger gap back to the third and fourth and so on.
Well, it's definitely a good for the broadcast, to say the least. Who you got on the car this week that you want to give a shout out to?
My Team Outlaw Motorsports. I know Scott had a little bit of trouble there at the end. Peter had trouble early. KDC Photography, Juddy Designs, Beard 2 Beard Oil. My buddy's watching. Scott, Cole. Always good to practice with him. AJ.
Well, we will let you go celebrate your second place finish. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you. Have a good night.
As your second place driver, Sean Judson, I think Roger's going to pull up Cole Duggar here and take it away.
I am about ready to do that. I want to get a little different view of that 11 car. We'll get Cole Duggar in the booth. Cole, you there, buddy?
Gotcha, Roger.
Well, man, you did it tonight. We talked about it at the beginning, and Zach said, watch out for the 11 car. I was kind of looking for you and the 2 car to have a big battle tonight, but you come out on top, took the lead right around the halfway point there. Really didn't get a whole lot of challenges. How tough was it to find grip, and how'd you come home with the victory tonight?
Grip was there pretty good for early on in the race. Obviously, it slicked off a little bit there in the last third of the race, but it was kind of hard to get a pass there early on, and got lucky on a restart. Was able to get on the inside there and was able to take advantage, and that was pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it looked like everybody was kind of trying to move around and jockey for position. You already had the points lead, and with the guy was really 1 point behind you coming in. He had a really bad night. Lap 1 done for the evening. That's going to give you a little bit of a cushion. Going to take any chances and relax a bit, or you're just going to keep the hammer down?
Well, you can't let your guard down in this league. It doesn't matter. Anybody in the top 10's really got a chance here. So you're going to have to hammer down every week. We got 2 drop weeks to factor in too as well. So if you get relaxed, then you'll have a problem.
Well, you didn't have any tonight. 11 cars top the podium. Who do you got to give some shout-outs, some thank yous to before we let you celebrate a great victory?
I got to thank KDC for 11. Beard 2 Beard Oil, Juddy Designs. Keeps my car nice. New paint every week. Big thanks to Sean and Scott. Excuse me. Big thanks to Sean, Scott, and William. Bunch of guys I'm probably forgetting, but thanks for Reed, Dean, Chris, Peter. They help admin with the league, and Roger, Zach. Thank you guys for the broadcast.
All right, man. Well, congratulations again. Stop eating those bugs. You won't cough like that anymore.
They taste good. Sorry.
All right, thanks, Cole. We'll look to see you on the podium next week when we get back in the street stocks.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, a little protein. Got to have that protein. Let's take a look at our results real quick. Duggar won it. Judson was second. Schilling was third. Then Hull in fourth. Woods comes home fifth. Big shakeups here at the end. Some of these guys were not in these positions, and that last lap wreck going into turn one really changed things. Goodwin in sixth. Enoch seventh. Chris Johnson comes home with a top 10 finish in eighth. Bo Ambos ninth. Tyler Burnside finishes 10th, 11th. To Randy Brunner. Dean Burnt in 12th, 13th. Nick Sobiak. Sobiak was running third there. He and Schilling were battling for third and fourth, and ends up with a really, really rough night on the last lap, but sometimes racing is a mean and evil mistress. Ryan Fisher in 14th, John Brunner 15th, 16th went to Rob Warren, Scott Binger in 17th, Peter Reese 18th, Reed Rundle 19th, and Jacob Crawford dead last on the field tonight. That is something we don't say very often, but it did happen this evening. Interesting one to say the least. Lap 1 wreck, lap 30 wreck. Not a big reaction other than that made the show very interesting, Zach.
Definitely. It's going to be interesting because there will be post-race looks at certain incidents and, what may have happened, what possibly could happen penalty-wise, but I wouldn't say counting on it, but make sure to keep your eye on the Hales Corner Speedway Sim Racing Facebook page if you want big announcements like that coming. But it definitely was an interesting race to say the least, and definitely excited for next week for the street stocks. We're back in the car, and then I think 3 weeks after that should be back because I think we're going to be taking a break off for Christmas.
Are we taking this Sunday for Christmas off?
I am unsure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Either way, we know we're racing next week for sure, and it's always fun to watch these guys. Great group of guys, great racing. We saw it tonight. Once they kind of settled in, it was really good racing at the front. But we'll go back to street stocks next week. A little bit slower car, but these guys have a lot of fun with them. They're able to trade paint a little more, and it doesn't upset the cars quite as much. Hopefully we got our sound problem fixed, and when we come back, we won't have any more issues. But I appreciate you being in the booth with me. Your final thoughts before we head out.
It was a really good race. Definitely going to shake up the championship standings with Crawford finishing in that last spot. It's going to really impact him, but we're going to see probably some more good racing coming up in the future.
All right, man. For Zach, Dom, and myself here at the Dirt Racing Network, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate each and every time you do. Don't forget your likes, shares, and follows over on the Facebook page. Subscribe on YouTube and Twitch. And until we see you the next time, which this week is going to be Thursday night, we're going to wrap up Warhorse, and Dominic will still have NASCAR. So those two shows kick off about the same time, about 9 o'clock Eastern here. Come and pick your poison. Both of them super late model shows. But for the three of us here, guys, we appreciate it. Until we see you the next